Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Alright, I got a message from Pantone12, obviously, Piccolo Sakurasou. I took a look at it, and he was saying, so jealous of the new girl. Now, here's the thing about this episode. This girl who shows up, Rita. Yeah, I'm dead serious. I give her the middle finger. This blue-eyed, blonde-haired bitch who shows up out of the blue from England says, "Come back to England with me, Sheena, because you're a good artist and you need to come with me." Yeah, what about Sorota? So you want to just split them up and just have her leave? Yeah. And she's like, and then this Rita girl is all on top of Sorota. You know what? That's stupid. That's fucked up. I'm not changing my opinion on this. Rita, you're a dumb blonde bimbo. You're from England. Why don't you go choke on some tea and die? I know. I'm raging a bit. Because she's a bitch. And you know what's fucking really stupid? Rita's like saying, Sheena eventually is going to, break you. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? You know, those kinds of scenes in anime and manga piss me off. When a new character comes in and they decide to say, "Oh, I'm going to do this," to interrupt. How about you interrupt? Why don't you go in front of a train track and watch a train push you over? Get run over by a train. Stupid England bitch. Now I did my little rant there. And basically this is episode 9, Autumn Storm. And yeah, a storm. And in the beginning of the episode we have Sheena and Misaki. They're in this room painting on the walls. I thought that was hilarious. And basically, the entire time, Misaki senpai, she's saying, oh, it's a cat anime. It's 52 episodes. It'll take 3 to 4 days to talk about. I was like, no, I don't want that. So he wanted to get the hell out of there. As we know how to start. Now, yes, got introduced to this new... We also get something else. Runonosuke. You know the guy who's in the room, we don't see it all the time? Well, this episode, he finally shows up. I thought that was interesting. But after that, we had that scene. We had the thing with him going to school. There were rumors swirling about... and here's another thing that pisses me off. If she goes back to England. It seems, it's not 100%, but it's hinted at that there's this one guy, I forgot his name, unfortunately, in the classroom who apparently might have a crush on Nanami. See, this is the problem. The girl who shows up in this episode, Rita, wants to bring Mashiro back to England. If she goes, he doesn't have anyone, Sorota. Because this other kid who's in the class obviously has feelings for Nanami. So Sorota has no one. No one. He has nobody. At least that's the logistics I'm seeing from this. Now, we have that scene, and then they go back. We have the introduction to Rita. And the first thing she comes in, she says, "Oh, hi, And it was funny because, we see Mashiro hugging her and everything. And when she mentions, she wants her to go back to England. But this Rita is a bitch. I'm sorry. She's being forceful. She wants to bring her there. She's pushing Sorota, saying, she's eventually going to break you. I'm like, who the fuck are you? You are some slut. You're a slut. Rita is a slut. Bimbo. Blonde bimbo. You're a fucking bimbo. You're a nobody. Wait, your friend? Her friend? Fuck you. Fuck you, Rita. Get on the plane. Hope the plane crashes in the fucking Atlantic Ocean. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel. It's just, did not like it. Did not like her all up in that. So what ends up happening is, eventually Mashiro, she pushes her, I'm not going. She's like very adamant about it. And Sorota consoles Rita to a point, and like I said, we get to the part where she says to him in the room after she takes a shower and puts on Mashiro's clothes, she will eventually break you. I'm like, I don't like Rita, and I'm not changing my opinion on this. I don't give a shit what happens in next week's episode. I still think she's a fucking bitch. She's a bitch. She's a bitch, she's slut, and she's jealous. Yes. It's not that it's not Sheena and Nanami that's jealous. It's her. She's jealous because Mashiro is with Sorota and she realizes that Sorota is a good-looking guy. She's jealous of Mashiro. It's the opposite. Pantone 12. That's the way I feel. I don't like Rita. I think she's a bitch. I think she's a skank. Sorry. So she was ended up saying that, and then there was a scene where she was on top of Sorota. Oh my god. And then we walked in like, ah! And then the entire time, for the rest of the good portion of the episode, anytime Mashiro looks at Sorota, she says, Baka! Sorota. Basically saying stupid Sorota. And it seems like, at least to her, that he's on Rita's side, but that's not true. What ends up happening is, we have a thing where he's in the classroom and Nanami's writing on the paper, what are you going to do about Rita, and, what are you going to do about Rita, and, is you really want her to go to England. Now, what ends up happening is there's this festival that's going down, and they're planning the festival and so on and so forth. Before then, Sorota text messages, and during the episode, he text messages Mashiro saying, I don't know the answer to it, so on and so forth, but you should, I hope you serialize your manga. And she writes P, and then he looks at her, and he says, Baka, Sorota says, doesn't begin with a P. And she smiles, so it's like a lovey-dovey kind of thing. Then after that, they start planning for the cultural festival at Sakurasou, and apparently Sorota's in charge of it. Yeah. Saying that it would be fun. Then, Mashiro walks in and says, Rita, you're going to sleep in my bed tonight. And basically, she's saying, all right, fine. This Rita, I'm telling you right now, I don't like her. Because you know what the whole point is? It's simple. My job is to make sure that Sorota is miserable. That's the way I look at it. Because what is she doing? She's breaking up Sorota and Sheena. That's what she's doing. That's her mission. Her mission is to make sure Mashiro goes back to England so Sorota doesn't have her anymore. That's the way I look at it. I really don't like her. I think she's a bitch. And the whole bit was that she was going to go on a date with him on Sunday. That was the exchange. If she would go to sleep in her room, in Mashiro's room, go on a date with him. So they go on a date, and apparently it's not a date. They go there to see a painting that Mashiro drew or painted before she left for Japan. And this is what I'm pissed off about. And she's like saying, oh, you see how great it is. I'm like, fuck you, you hoe. Jump off it. And then Mashiro's looking at the painting, and it's like a really fantastic painting, and it's almost as if he was put in a trance. And you see like water around him, and he looks at it and he says, I think she should go back to the art world. And I'm like, You know, Sarota, that was stupid. I'm sorry. No. He should have said, no. She's going to stay here. And then he should just slapped her. Because that was stupid. It's just like, it pisses me off that now supposedly you have this fucking roadblock. And you know what? Let me tell you something. The signs in this episode point that Sarota gets with nobody. Because you had the thing in the classroom with his friend Googling over Nanami. And you have the fact that this Rita girl wants to bring Mashiro back. So who does Sarota have? Nobody. He says, I should go back to your world. And that's how the episode ended. Next week's episode is going to be called Hate, Hate, Love. Like I said before, I don't like Rita. She's a bitch. She's a slut. It's very simple what her job is. Her job is to come in there and make sure that Sarota and Mashiro are broken up. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's her job. Well, guess what? Fuck you. Fuck the horse you came on. Get back to England. Get back on that plane. Get to fucking England. Because you're not welcomed here. You're not welcomed. You're just a big, stupid, blonde bimbo. Blonde bimbo. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, that's the story. 4.5 out of 5. I really am going to be pissed off if she leaves Mashiro because of this. Because this is stupid. This is stupid. And we all... And you know what's weird? It was like... You had last week's episode, which was devastating. And now this week's is just as devastating. So I just find it's like building up to a certain point. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Gotta wonder now what happens next. Because next week's episode is called Hate, Hate, Love. And the only scene we see, the only preview we get there is we see Sarota, he's sitting on a bench, and Mashiro is sitting like his opposite side. So I really think Sarota should tell Rita, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Okay? Go. Just leave. In fact, yeah, that's what you should do. Just, like, leave. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who are you? Who are you? Who is she? I should rant about this because this really pissed me off to a certain extent, but I'm not going to. But I'm just going to say, I mean, like, it's like one of those things where you say to yourself, the whole point with Rita is that she's Mashiro's friend, you know. You're a friend. Fuck you. So I'm using profanity here, but it's like, I don't like characters like that. They come in, and they think they own the place, they own the whole show, and they say, you know. Oh, by the way, the only thing I forgot to mention, Renosuke. Interesting character. He was funny in this episode. You get to see him again, first time. He's eating tomatoes in class. It was so funny. That had me dying. But I just don't like Rita. I think she's a bitch. Like I said, blonde bimbo. Okay? It is not your job to decide what happens with Mashiro. So fuck off. And the whole thing with, she'll break you. Like, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. But we'll see what happens next week. I hope Mashiro doesn't leave. I'm going to be so pissed. I'm going to be so pissed if she leaves. I tell you now. Sarota, why don't you grow a sack and say, no, she's staying here. That's what I say. Okay. So from Bonkai922, I'll see you guys later. Watch out for blonde bimbos. They're bad trouble.